Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS, FANS. Let's get to the news now. Folks, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you could shake up the NFC South in a way we haven't seen in a while. Rumors are swirling that the Atlanta Falcons are eyeing a major move on the defensive front, and the name linked to this potential blockbuster is Trey Hendrickson, currently of the Cincinnati Bengals. It's the kind of move that could elevate our defense to a whole new level, giving us that extra edge needed to contend seriously for a playoff run and maybe even push deep into the postseason. So, what's the story here? Well, the Bengals, fresh off a rough 2025 season where they finished with a 4-13 record and had one of the league's worst defenses, are apparently open to trading Hendrickson. And why wouldn't they be? They're at a crossroads, trying to rebuild the roster after a disappointing year. Reports suggest that Cincinnati is willing to part with Hendrickson in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and a third-rounder in 2027. That's a significant price, but for the Falcons, it could be well worth it, especially considering the cap space we have and our ongoing effort to bolster the pass rush. The Bengals are reportedly looking to free up around $15 million in cap space to help reset their offensive line and address frustrations surrounding Joe Burrow. The team's defense was leaking points all season, averaging around 30 points allowed per game, ranking 28th in the NFL. That's not the kind of defense you want when you're trying to rebuild around a quarterback like Burrow. They're also facing the reality of needing to invest in young talent, and trading Hendrickson could be part of that plan. For us Falcons fans, this is exciting because Hendrickson is a proven pass rusher. He's 31 years old, but he's still playing at an elite level. Last season, he recorded 5 sacks, which put him among the top 5 edge rushers in the league. That's the kind of production we need to really impact games, especially against division rivals like the Panthers and the Saints. Hendrickson's profile is pretty impressive. Since 2017, he's been a consistent force on the edge, with a career total of 70 sacks and 280 tackles. In 2025 alone, he posted 5 sacks, 40 solo tackles, and 25 quarterback hits. His PFF grade last season was an outstanding 89. Putting him in the top 10 among edge rushers, and his pass rush win rate was an elite 25%. That means he wins 1 out of every 4 pass rush attempts, which is a huge advantage. When you combine that with his EPA per snap of -0.14 and a run-stop win rate of 30%, it's clear Hendrickson can both rush the passer and contribute to the run defense. His pressures last season totaled 85, with 62% double-teamed, showing how much teams respect his ability to disrupt plays. Plus, he's been able to generate pressures even when facing double teams, which is critical against high-powered offenses. Throughout his career, Hendrickson has been a 3-time Pro Bowler, and he's accumulated 10 forced fumbles, a testament to his playmaking ability. His style of play is reminiscent of some of the best pass rushers in the league. He's relentless, technically sound, and always a threat to get to the quarterback. For the Falcons, acquiring a player like him would mean boosting our sack total significantly, projected to go from around 40 last season to possibly 48 or more. That kind of jump could move us from the middle of the pack into the top tier of NFL defenses, and that's exactly what we need to push for a playoff spot and beyond. Now, let's talk about why this makes so much sense for Atlanta. Our defense, especially our pass rush, has been a bit inconsistent. We've had flashes of brilliance, but injuries and depth issues have held us back. Our current edge rushers, while talented, haven't been able to consistently pressure the quarterback. Adding Hendrickson would give us that consistent, proven threat on the edge. Pair him with Judon, who graded out at 82.6 on PFF last season, and suddenly our duo becomes a nightmare for offenses. Opponents would have to double-team them less often, freeing up other players to make plays. Hendrickson's presence alone would cause mismatches. Offensive lines would have to dedicate extra resources to contain him, opening lanes for our linebackers and secondary to make plays on the ball. And don't forget the impact on our run defense. Hendrickson's ability to set the edge and make plays against the run would translate into a significant improvement, projected to increase our run-stop win rate by around 14%. That's huge because it means fewer yards allowed per carry, fewer explosive runs, and more opportunities for our offense to take control of the game. And with the Falcons, offense led by Desmond Ridder, who's shown promise but still has room to grow, having a defense that can get stops and create turnovers is the missing link to making us serious contenders in the NFC South. Speaking of the offense, having Hendrickson on the field would also give us more confidence in our game plan. When your defense can consistently pressure the quarterback, it opens up the entire playbook. Our passing game, led by Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson, would benefit immensely from a defense that forces quick throws and mistakes. Hendrickson's ability to generate pressure, 85 pressures last season, means opposing quarterbacks will be under duress more often, which could lead to more turnovers and easy points for us. That's the kind of synergy you want to see if you're aiming for a deep playoff push. Now, what about the division? The NFC South has been pretty wide open lately, with the Saints, Panthers, and Buccaneers all trying to find their footing. But if the Falcons can add Hendrickson and improve their pass rush, we could leapfrog some of those teams fairly quickly. Our defense would become a game changer, especially if our secondary can stay healthy and gel together. The division title is within reach, and this kind of upgrade could be the difference between a solid season and a real playoff run. Plus, considering the odds, the Falcons are already seen as underdogs with plus 5,000 odds to win Super Bowl LXI. But with Hendrickson, those odds could plummet to around plus 2,000, especially if he proves to be the X-factor we believe he can be. That's a massive boost for our championship aspirations. And let me tell you, the impact on the team's psyche would be enormous. Bringing in a proven leader and elite pass rusher like Hendrickson sends a message. We're serious about contending now. It's about building a defense that can hold its own against anyone, especially in the playoffs where every possession counts. Hendrickson's history of stepping up in big moments, like his performance with the Packers in 2024, where he generated 16 pressures, shows he's a player who doesn't shy away from the spotlight. Imagine him on a Falcons defense that's already talented but needs that final piece. It could turn us from a good team into a legitimate NFC threat, similar to how the Rams' defense was when Miller came over in 2022, boosting their pass rush and helping them make a deep playoff run. Now, of course, there are questions. Will Cincinnati actually trade him? Will Hendrickson be open to coming to Atlanta? These are things we'll have to watch closely, but the potential is there. The Falcons have been strategic in their approach, and this move could be a game changer for our entire roster. We know that the team is always looking to add impact players, and Hendrickson fits that mold perfectly. Veteran, productive, and hungry for a Super Bowl run. Plus, with the Falcons' cap space, which is already around $8 million and flexible enough for restructures, making this kind of move is feasible if the team decides it's worth the risk. In conclusion, folks, this potential trade is more than just a rumor. It's a statement of intent. Atlanta is positioning itself to not just compete but to dominate the NFC South and make some serious noise in the playoffs. Hendrickson's arrival could be the spark that ignites our defense, transforms our season, and helps us chase that elusive Super Bowl. It's a bold move, but in today's NFL, sometimes you need to take risks to reach greatness. And if we can land a player of Hendrickson's caliber, we're talking about a team that's ready to contend for the Lombardi Trophy. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So Falcons fans, what do you think about this potential move? Are you excited about the idea of having Hendrickson in Atlanta? Do you believe he can be the missing piece to push us over the edge? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments below and tell me how you see this playing out. Remember, we're all in this together, and your opinion matters just as much as the team's strategy. I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. Let's keep the passion alive, and let's make this season one to remember.